The focus of this lesson is linear automobile depreciation. Example 1. Suppose that you purchase a car for $27,000. According to your online research, this particular make and model of car loses all of its marketable value after 12 years. That is, it depreciates to a value of $0 12 years after the purchase date. If this car depreciates in a straight line form, what are the coordinates of the intercepts of the depreciation equation? All right, so the simplest way to do this is to start by sketching out what the situation actually is on a graph. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our axes, our horizontal and vertical axes. On the vertical axis, we're going to put our independent variable, time. And on the vertical axis, we're going to put our dependent variable, which is the value of the car. Now, we know that at time 0, our car is valued at $27,000. So we'll put here $27K. And at 12 years, the car is valued at $0. So our line will look something like this, starting at $27,000 and ending at $0 at 12 years. The question being asked here are, what are the coordinates of the intercepts? Remember, intercepts are the locations where your line intercepts or crosses our axes, our vertical and horizontal axes. So we're going to say here, this point up here on the y-axis is our y-intercept. So our y-intercept is located at 0, 27,000. And our x-intercept is located down here at 12, 0. Now just a quick reminder, every coordinate has an x and a y. When y is 0, we have our x-intercept, and when x is 0, we have our y. So here's the answer to this question. All right, now it's your turn to try. Try this. Suppose that you purchase a car for $22,000. According to your online research, this make and model of car loses all of its marketable value after 11 years. That is, it depreciates to a value of $0 11 years after the purchase date. If this car depreciates in a straight line form, what are the coordinates of the intercepts of the depreciation equation? Try sketching it out in order to give the correct coordinates. Example 2. Determine the slope of the straight line depreciation equation from the situation in example 1. If you remember from example 1, we had our x-intercepts as 12, 0, and 0, 27,000. Now, in order to find the slope of a line, we use the formula m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. In other words, our rise over run, how much the line goes up or down, and how much it goes over. Now, in this case, remember, every point has an x and a y. Our first point, let's call it x1, y1. Our second coordinate, our second intercept, let's call it x2, y2. So in this case, our slope is m is equal to 27,000 minus 0 over 0 minus 12. So our slope is 27,000 over negative 12. Using our calculator, we get negative 2,250. Negative 2,250. That is our slope. In other words, this car will lose value at $2,250 per year. So we'll write that out. This car loses $2,250 in value each year. Now it's your turn to try. Suppose that you purchased the car for $22,000. According to your online research, this make and model loses all of its marketable value after 11 years. That is, it depreciates to a value of $0 11 years after the purchase date. If this car depreciates in a straight line form, what is the slope of this line? Remember to look at your sketch from the beginning and give it a try. Example 3. Write the straight line depreciation equation from the situation discussed in examples 1 and 2. So if you remember from before, we had our coordinates for our intercepts at 12, 0 and 27,000, 27,000. And then we ended up finding our slope, and our slope was at negative 2,250. Now, using a little bit of algebra, we remember that all linear equations can be written in the form y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. We already have our slope and we already have our y-intercept. Now remember, the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So that is going to be our 0, 27,000, because remember, 27,000 represents y. So our equation is y equals negative 2,250x plus 27,000. Then draw the graph of the equation. And I'm just going to re-sketch it because I know we already did this in example 1. Remember, it crosses here, 27,000 on the vertical axis, and it crosses down here at 12 years. The value, and it decreased from there to there. We're going to pretend that's straight. And that's pretty much it. Now your turn to try. Try this. Suppose that you purchase a car for $22,000. According to your online research, this make and model of car loses all of its marketable value after 11 years. That is, it depreciates to a value of $0 11 years after the purchase date. If this car depreciates in a straight line form, what is the equation of this line? Give it a try. Now let's try another one. Delia purchased a new car for $25,350. This make and model depreciates to 0 after 13 years. Write and graph the straight line depreciation for this car. Let's try one last one. Practice makes perfect. Vince purchased a used car for $11,200. This make and model used car straight line depreciates to 0 after 7 years. Write and graph the straight line depreciation equation for this car. Give it a try.